This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 3/7/22, show number 372. There's a matchup there somewhere, Nick, and well, the war continues on.
Yeah, the war does continue on. It's front and center, and I believe this is day 8 for the conflict. I mean, oil prices last night spiked over $130 a barrel. While this commodity is way overbought, extended, stretched, any adjective you want to put to it. I really have a hard time seeing it decline until there's some kind of resolution here. So, we are looking at, skyrocketing gas prices here in the U.S. and around the globe. I'm not sure this thing is going to get resolved anytime soon, though.
Yeah, I would think not, but it looks like it's heading perhaps for a stalemate. Hey, gold, well, we're going to get to that more. That hit $2,000 last night as well, till they knocked it down, and now it's around 1990 or so. Everything's going crazy. Copper hits a new all-time high. Platinum through the roof. Palladium hits a new all-time high. In order to have a catalytic converter on your car, anti-smog, you must have palladium or platinum, one or the other.
Right. And we're seeing these commodities just skyrocket. I mean, we could go to the precious metals where gold, as you said, got over 2,000 and it backed off a little bit because it's so overbought here. But how could gold go down in the middle of this conflict? Gold is actually telling us it's the world's reserve currency, right? So, I mean, that's what it's telling us right now. And fiat currency, I don't know how far it can last, but people want hard assets. They want something that they could drop on their foot and cause pain. That's the old saying in the business. And that comes from gold bars, silver bars, and precious metals are the outperformer right now. And, I do think if there's some kind of peace deal here or some kind of treaty, yeah, you'll see gold really, pull back and sell off. But right now, I mean, it's just skyrocketing. And I don't see it stopping. I don't see oil stopping until there's some kind of a peace deal out here, at least some kind of rumor that has some credibility to it.
Well, I think all of the European countries, they don't really care about Ukraine per se. They're going to force a peace treaty. That's what's going to happen because their economies will implode. They're going to have their gas supplies cut off, oil supplies cut off. And look, we know that once oil heads to that $100 range, guaranteed recession worldwide.
That's right. And another thing that's a really big problem right now is the financial stocks have been tanking here in the U.S. as well. Look at JP Morgan now below $130 a share. Bank of America, Goldman Sachs is falling. Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, which has some decent exposure to Russia, that's a $55 stock. And all of these financial stocks have been tumbling. But the European financial stocks haven't tumbled. They've fallen off a cliff. I mean, those charts look absolutely horrible. If you take a look at the chart of Deutsche Bank or Credit Suisse, they're not only making 52 lows. Credit Suisse is very close to an all-time low, and it might soon fall below the 2020 low, which was due to the coronavirus. So again, this is unprecedented stuff. This tells me Europe we've been saying Europe's a mess anyway for years. But it could be the time of reckoning for Europe.
Yeah, and all that money is flowing into U.S. stocks and U.S. banks. It's just flooding out there. That's why they're going to have to put their foot down and say, no more, we're done. Give Putin what he wants, which now he's originally wanted to basically deplatform Ukraine, basically erase it as a country. Now, like we were talking pre-call, Russia is effectively being deplatformed as if they were Alex Jones.
I got to say, we hit on it a little bit last week, but I've never seen anything quite like this. There's probably I would think 2 to 3,000 companies that do business in Europe. I mean, I don't know how many have left, but I've never seen this many companies cancel a country. Today we had Akamai, which really runs internet infrastructure for you. You know, basically, really, it's the nuts and bolts of what the internet runs on, and they canceled Russia. And then earlier today, I saw that Russia is gonna cease its internet from being connected to the U.S. So maybe Putin did plan for this. I'm not sure. But I've never seen anything like this. Visa, MasterCard, PayPal. I mean, all of these companies are no longer doing business in Russia, let alone the write-downs from the big oil companies like BP and Shell. It's rather remarkable. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah, I don't think Putin planned for this because I think he just believed he was going to march through and be at Kiev in 48 hours and they'd all surrender and that would be the end of it.
Yeah, you might be right about that. I think the guy might have be a little bit sharper than that. That would have just been too simple. I actually thought the way they went in, it was going to be done, last weekend, and it wasn't. I'm quite surprised, but we know that, they have this javelin and they have these other weapons to fight off the Russians. But honestly, Kerry, it's very hard to get any real information out of there with any truth. We hear a lot of propaganda, and our own media here is nothing but propaganda as well. So it's hard.
You think? Really? Oh, come on.
Really, it's really, really difficult to get any real news with true substance. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't. Maybe I'll be canceled as well soon. So you never know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, Bitcoin is still holding up. It went under 40. It's still under 40, around 39 right now. But it's held up pretty well in this deal.
Yeah. So when you look at Bitcoin right now, trading, I guess around 39,000. I always follow the Bitcoin futures chart. I will say this though, Bitcoin has held that really good 35,000 level, which was very psychological. It was very important. It was defended back all the way on January 24th. It actually made a higher low on the 24th of February. It really trades a lot like the stock market right now. So, it looks a lot like the stock market. And I have to say, it's quite something. But what I don't like about Bitcoin, went up to that resistance level around 45,500. I said that would be the resistance point. It pulled back there. You got to be careful now. If it closes, in my opinion, not even at the lows, if it just closes below the February 28th low, which is 37,000, that's very problematic. And that would probably send it down to around 30,000. So I think traders got to be, crypto traders got to be very, very careful here. This is a very fragile instrument at the moment. And again, I know that crypto is still flowing in Russia. They're still using it there. It's flowing around the world. But we saw the Canadian truckers, a lot of them got their crypto shut off. So, is there a big run into crypto at this stage of the game? I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I guess gold is it. So there was a rumor that Putin is going to be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for ending the pandemic.
Well, I did not hear that one, but I will say
just
this.
A rumor.
I will say this, though. I do know that Russia owns a lot of gold. So, people should take that for what it's worth. But, these central banks, they all own some gold, but Russia has learned its lesson, I think, through the years that gold is still where you want to be ultimately when something like this happens. And we've never seen this happen. I've never seen a country get canceled. So this is I'm in uncharted waters myself when I look at this.
Yeah, well, it's going to get interesting, that's for sure. But my feeling is maybe this is the prelude to the big war, but I don't think this is it because nobody is exactly prepared for it. Nobody's planned it out as best as I can tell, but I guess we'll just have to see. So in any event, you want to go over to inthemoneystocks.com, see how Nick has been beating the averages for decades, and look at the Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz. Emails are welcome, KL@kerrylutz.com. Nick, we'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Sounds good, Kerry.